Follow breaking news. The judge in the George Floyd case making rulings on several motions involving the 4 former police officers who are charged. Judge Peter Cahill ruling that aiding and abetting murder charges will not be dismissed. So officers Tu Tao, Thomas Lane, and J. Alexander King all will still stand trial on that charge.
Judge also ruled that a third-degree murder charge against Derek Chauvin, that will be dropped. Chauvin, though, still is charged with second-degree murder in George Floyd's desk. That is the more serious charge. We have defense attorney Mike Bryant joining us this morning, now live on Skype with your reaction. Mike, it's pretty standard for defense attorneys to ask for charges to be dropped and then have these charges not be dropped. Why don't we start with the 3 officers before we get to Derek Chauvin? What do you make of that?
Well, you can only get aiding and abetting with the second degree. So as far as the other officers go, the decision made by the judge doesn't affect them at all. And it actually, they lose the out that the jury could have gone to, because if the jury had gone with a third degree, then they would get out because they wouldn't be, there could be no aiding and abetting with the third degree.
You can't aid and abet a third-degree murder charge in Minnesota. You can aid and abet second degree.
Correct.
Right. Tell us.
And that goes.
Go ahead.
Go ahead. Yeah, that goes back to the original charges. When they were first brought, they brought the third degree, and they didn't bring the aiding and abetting because you couldn't. And it was when they added the second degree that they brought in the other charges.
Now, this, the defense of the other 3 officers raised varying degrees of evidence of saying, look, this officer, tried to give CPR, or this officer questioned. Does the judge, by deciding to not dismiss the charge, that doesn't take that defense off the table, really, does it?
No, what the judge does is the judge rules on the law. So he makes decisions based upon the law. The jury makes the decisions as far as facts goes. A lot of their arguments were factual issues, saying, the way you look at this is one way, or this is my reason for that. Those are all fact issues. So when the judge decides, he's just saying the law doesn't let him out. There's enough there for what's called a prima facie case, a basic case, and the jury gets to hear it, make decisions on the facts.
So, Mike, as we mentioned, the judge kept the more serious second-degree murder charge, but dropped that third-degree murder charge against Derek Chauvin. What does the judge say about that?
Well, he's dropping in the Roots case, we had the whole issue of the depraved mind and the whole question of whether or not you're endangering other people with your actions. The judge is getting rid of that, so we don't have that whole discussion or those whole issues, and comes down to what happened here and whether or not this was done with an intent that you'll be able to get with the second degree.
Because in the third-degree murder charge, you have to prove that the person's actions were eminently dangerous to other people. So you're bringing up the Knorr case, the Justine Damon case, because as the judge mentions in the order here, that case, that was a third-degree murder charge case, that was conviction, and that other people could have been harmed. What I think he's arguing in this case is that Derek Chauvin was only harming George Floyd at the time.
Yeah, the judge in order, he isn't arguing. He's saying under the law there wasn't something else you'd be able to get third degree on, so there wasn't enough of a prima facie case or a basic case, like in the Roots case where you had the Officer Knorr was shooting across his partner, and that was the issue that came up there.
Could have endangered the partner, could have endangered a bicyclist who was in the area. The George Floyd case, it's only George Floyd who was at risk there. All right, this bottom line means that all of these cases proceed. Everybody going to trial on almost all of these charges except for the one that was dropped. Mike Bryant, thanks for the insight and helping make sense of it for us.
Thank you.